Good evening. Who's here? Coach Chris is
Good.
in the house. Oh, this is wonderful. Good evening, you guys. Thank you so much for showing up in the Zoom. We're doing something really different tonight. I have you wonderful, lovely people in Zoom. So that's great because I really get tired of talking to my phone sometimes. But we're also live streaming on the Authentically Fit Free Fitness community. So if you're on the live stream in the free fitness community and you're able to jump into Zoom, please jump into Zoom. I promise I'm not going to make anybody talk that doesn't want to talk. Nothing's going to be uncomfortable. We're just live streaming for people that can't. So, Hillary, Aaron, if you're able to jump into the Zoom, I just love seeing people's faces and having the opportunity to interact with people when that's possible. So, we are going to deep dive in. Auntie Sandy's here. That's my aunt, you guys. You can tell probably by the similar last names. Yeah, it's so exciting to have you here. I think the first time we've ever done this. This is cool. It is, it is. We're going to dive in literally in 60 seconds and we're going to get right into the presentation and then we can have a little small talk if anybody wants to afterwards. But I plan on making this like a 30-minute presentation because I have a lot of really awesome information that I want to get out, but I don't want to take up all your precious time because it is a precious evening. So I'm just going to screen share with you. You never know when you are with Casey and she screen shares what might happen. My last mastermind, if you were here, we had some pretty crazy stuff go down when I do this. So bear with me. Let's get this presentation in presentation mode. Has anybody ever tried anything and it didn't work? Have we all done that? Has everybody here been on a diet? It didn't work. You went on a budget. It didn't work. You try all the things and nothing's working. So we're going to be somewhat specific to a health and fitness goals here, but it really doesn't have to be. This can be applied to anything. You could be trying to climb the corporate ladder at work. You could be trying to gain confidence just to be a more confident individual each and every day. Whatever your goals are, you can apply what we're talking about tonight to that. So welcome to our masterclass when you've tried everything and nothing works for you. Let's go. During this masterclass for the people, so again, if you're just tuning in, I am live streaming, but we're also in Zoom. So if I look a little bit funny in the eyes, it's because I'm really not used to the two different cameras going, but I'm going to try and focus on the Zoom. So please, if you can jump into Zoom so we can interact and I can see your beautiful faces. The link is down there's so many links going on, so it shouldn't be hard to jump in if you want to jump into Zoom. For the people in Zoom, if you can just, I think your microphones would have been muted. There's a little speaker looking with a red line through it. If you're in a quiet room, don't worry about it. But if there's lots of background noise, if you can stay muted, unless you need to talk, of course, unmute when the time comes for you guys to chat. Use the chat though. There's a button down at the bottom of your screen, you'll notice, and it says chat. And there's a great comment feed. Oh, we got people in the waiting room here. Let's let them in. When you screen share, it's harder to see people in the waiting room. So that's okay. We got them. Admit all, let's get them in here. Yeah, so if you need to unmute, feel free to unmute. I think we got everybody in here. Excellent. And if you can rename yourself, if you're a lot of you, most of you guys look like you have names, but sometimes you come up as a name of your phone. So if you're iPhone user, I just really like to know who I'm talking to. So you just click the three little dots and it'll give you the option to rename yourself. You can rename yourself your real name, something really cool, but just if I want to talk to you, that I got something to call you. All right, where are we? This is just doing its own little thing again. So there we go, better. No, this is just picking pages, picking pages. See, this is what happens to Casey. All right, so just really quickly, a couple little stats here that's going to tie this night together. This is one of my favorite quotes here, but let's just start. So, why is it so important to be aware of the language now more than ever? So, we're going to talk about language and how it affects your life and the language that you could be using that could be the reason why you are struggling to get to your goals. Again, I might refer a lot to fitness goals, but this could be financial goals, this could be confidence goals, this could refer to any type of goal. So, according to Dr. Raj, we generate between 12,000 and 50,000 thoughts per day. Let this sink in. Unfortunately, up to 70% of those thoughts are negative. if we don't do something about it. So I'm here to tell you by the end of this masterclass, you're going to recognize that 70% of your thoughts in a day do not need to be negative. But if you don't take action, you don't take control, it's your brain is naturally designed to make 70% of those thoughts negative. This is my favorite quote in the world. This has changed everything for me, for the way that I get out of bed in the morning, the way that I show up in my day, and the habits and rituals that I have. Whatever we plant in our subconscious mind and nurture with repetition and emotion will one day become our reality. That is what sums up everything that's going to come through and going to happen for us tonight. Whatever we plant in our subconscious mind and nurture with repetition and emotion will one day become our reality. That's Earl Nightingale. Love that. So powerful. So really quickly, this is our Authentically Fit team. Coach Crystal is in the house today. She is one of the coaches in our team, but she went and has herself a full-time job, so she's unable to do these classes and host these workshops with us. That's the only reason you don't see her on here, because we were doing these during the daytime and she was unable to join us. But Coach Crystal, give everybody a wave so we know where you are. All right, so really quickly, I'm Coach Casey. If you haven't met me before, I've been in the fitness industry for well over 35, probably close to 38 years now. This has been my life since I was a teenager. I absolutely love it. I am so passionate about what I do. I have 4 children, 5 grandchildren, and I just want to make sure that my grandkids grow up understanding the power of language. I want to make sure that my children grow up understanding the power of language. Our parents didn't mean to say the things they said to us, but they didn't realize that at a young age, when you're saying, oh, don't be so stupid, that could have a massive impact on the way life works for you. Or when you need some money and they say, do I look like a bank machine? The impact that could have on your ability to manifest money now. So my life is all about learning. I am learning all the time. I have the privilege, in order to stay certified, you have to take courses each and every year. So I've taken probably over 37 years of courses every year. And I get to learn from the best of the best. That's the beautiful thing. I am still learning. Today, I have people that stand on stages and sign my certifications that were teaching me in my 20s. So I learn from the best of the best, and I bring that knowledge back to you guys. And I do my best to present it and to teach it to you guys. Coach Brittany, I'm not going to do too much intros. These guys aren't here right now, but she is also a certified personal trainer. She's a nutritionist with 5 years experience, passionate about empowering plus size women to transform their lives. She's lost over 100 pounds. So when we're talking weight loss, listen up. The thing about our team is we all consult. So even if you are working with Krista or myself or Brittany or Crystal, we're all constantly consulting. Whichever one of us specializes in a certain area, we are all a team. So that's Brittany. She also owns Vancouver Island Pro Wrestling. So if you ever want an entertaining night out, Coach Brittany and Vancouver Island Wrestling, they do an amazing job. This over here is my lovely, beautiful daughter and business partner, co-owner of this company. She's a mom of 3, also certified personal trainer and nutrition coach. Krista has struggled with eating disorders. She's competed in fitness competitions, and to do that, she did some really unhealthy things to her body. I remember her hiring every personal trainer in Nanaimo except me when she was in her younger days. And yeah, so she's very passionate about food. She's very passionate about teaching people to have a better relationship with food. And Authentically Fit, we do not teach people to restrict their diets in any which way. We believe in 80-20. And what I want to just sort of say quickly before we move on is, in this 38 years that I told you I've been doing this, there's 2 really important things to factor in here. Not once, let me say that again, not once has anybody who signs my certifications stood up on a stage in front of me and presented to me, told me to restrict my clients' calories for them to lose weight. They've never told me to cut somebody carbs down. That's not a thing, you guys. That is a diet culture that did that. That is a money-making diet culture. The fitness industry doesn't teach it that way. Okay, we teach 80-20. So I have my manual. The girls laugh at me from 25 years ago in my first personal training and nutrition course. And it taught 80-20. 80% of everything you eat and drink in a day should be fueling your body, should be healthy. 20% is your free for all. It's whatever you want. It can be a glass of wine. It can be French fries. It can be a burger. And yeah, that can be every single day. That's been being taught forever in the fitness industry. So just be really clear on diet culture and fitness industry. And as we get into this, when we start to talk about why you might be working out all the time, you might be eating 80-20, but nothing's working, I'm going to give you the secret to that. We're going to actually talk about some stuff that Chris doesn't even know how big of a part of she has played on my life and my struggles in my own fitness journey. I've tried everything. and nothing is working. Can we relate to that? Can we relate to that? Have you been on keto, the cabbage soup diet, I don't even know what they're all called. Now Ozempic is scaring the living shit out of me. It's useful, yes, for the people that are being prescribed it by doctors and for diabetes, but it's pretty scary that the general population can get their hands on it when we know the underlying health effects it can have. There's just some scary stuff out there, you guys. There's some scary stuff out there. So do your research. But the stuff I'm going to teach you, it's not scary. Pretty simple if you pay attention. Okay. Tried everything. You work out 5 days a week, still not losing the weight. Maybe it's that you are the first one to work, the last one to leave. You're the hardest worker. You know you work harder, you outwork everybody, but you didn't get that promotion. Nobody's recognizing your hard work. Do you ever feel like that? Or maybe it's in your friend circle. You do everything. You're not a greedy person, but yeah, everybody wants to be recognized for the good things that they do, but nobody's recognizing it, right? Maybe you go to bed every night really early, but you're always tired. And there's no medical reason to explain it away. You're just always tired. You're doing all the right things and nothing is working. Why? Why? Because we need to begin to learn to change your language. We need to learn to change our language. How many times a day or how often, or do you think you say, I'm so tired. I hate mornings. I have no energy. I'm so overweight. Nothing works for me. I hate looking myself in pictures. Do you know how many moms are not going to have memories with their children because they won't be in the pictures? They take the pictures, but they're not in them, or they're in the back, and all you see is mom's little face. I'm guilty of it. I've done it before. How many people own it? Drop it in the comments, whether you're on the live screen or here in the Zoom meeting. How many people have positioned themselves in a picture to not really fully be seen? Right? I'll tell you right now, your young children, your old children, nobody in your family is worried about what you look like. They're just worried about remembering that you were there in that moment. And that breaks my heart that people are doing this still. And so that's what this is all about. We got to change that. So some of you will be familiar with this gift I'm about to give you. I'm going to give you something and you can't give it back. Hey, right? And Sandy, I gave you a bad Christmas present. You probably wanted to give it back, that weird cat plate, but yeah, I can't. And you can't give this plate back either. She's trying to claim she loves the plate. You can't give this gift back. This gift is with you forever. And if you know about her, the repetition is good. You're going to hear about her again. I am now giving you your very own personal assistant. You now have whatever it is for you do personally or professionally, you now have a personal assistant. The thing though about this personal assistant, unlike the one that might be standing physically beside you and can only make you right and do the things for you that you ask her to do, she's in here. She's in here. She's called your subconscious mind. So you don't have to even say it out loud. You just have to think it. And she's going to make you right. She's going to go right on out and do that for you just because you thought it. So if you're thinking to yourself, you wake up in the morning, you step on the scale, you're thinking, oh my God, I'm so fat, or I just look awful. I don't feel good. I don't look good. And then, you're heading to work, you get over it. You go into Tim Hortons, you're going to go in and have nice, healthy green tea. That's what you have every morning. And all of a sudden you're eating a donut. That's her. That's her. That's your subconscious mind. That's your personal assistant making you right. Making you right. She made you smell donuts. She made your eyes drawn to the donut, or maybe the donut was on sale and you can't not resist a sale, right? She made you buy that donut and eat it to make you right about being overweight. When you talk about being tired all the time, you know what she's going to do? She's going to make sure you plug your iPhone in where the light is going to shine into the corner of your eye and drive you bonkers. Or she's going to make sure you forgot to feed your cats and they're meowing all night. She's going to make you get a Charlie horse in your leg, in your calf, and now you're up with the Charlie horse trying to stretch that shit out. She's going to make you right. So we need to be really, really careful from this moment forward, because you can't unknow this now. You can't unhear this. And even if you're Carol and you've heard this 100 times for the last few years from me, you can't unhear it. And we all need to be reminded of how powerful she is. She has got some serious power. She's out there all the time making you right. You guys, if you want a little science behind this, there's a part of your brain called the reticular activation system, and it's designed to look for what you focus on. So if you're constantly focusing on negative things, you're going to see more negative things. When I drive down the highway, I don't get cut off. I don't get stuck in traffic jams. I don't notice the amount of people that have moved into town that are making my sister crazy. I don't notice that because I don't think about it. I drive with my hubby and I'm anxious and everybody cuts us off. Oh, he's the worst. He is awful. Like, I don't even like driving with him because he's out for road rage because he focuses on it. And so he gets more of it. Yes, is everybody picking up what I'm putting down? We're getting the things that we focus on. We are attracting the things into our lives, and we can change that. So things that you're never going to hear me say, and I want to encourage you not to say. And when I do say it, I have my whole team at work trained to catch me, and all of my clients are trained to catch me when I do say these things. I don't say I can't. if there's something that I can, that I will say it now, I can't do, I find another way to word that because I don't want my brain to actually think I can't do things. Instead, I say I can and I figure it out. Or at this moment, that's not something that I want to do, right? I'm not saying I'm Mary fucking Poppins and everything is positive and I'm going to do everything, I can do anything. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm very, very careful with the words that I choose to use. I wish is a really scary one. So if you want the actual think about the science, if you're constantly telling your personal assistant that you wish, or I want, you'll never have it. Because then you can't wish or want it, right? You just told your brain that you want to wish for it or that you want it. So if you have it and you've got it, you can't want it anymore. So you're never going to get it. Does that make sense? This was a really one that really took a lot of workshops, a lot of programming for me to understand, right? So we don't want to wish, we don't want to want. I am, I have, I might is a scary word. I might, you will not. I've never had a client say I might go to the gym tomorrow and go. That's not happening. I might almost never happens. Okay. I will happens. And my favorite, and this one is really new to me, and it was a really powerful course that I was taking. I should, I should. You could should your way into the end of your days. You're gonna should you should, I should, I should. I don't even know what that word means. I should, I must. When you say to yourself, I must lose this weight, I must get that job, your brain, your personal assistant's like, okay, she's got it, she must, she's serious. We got to figure out what we're gonna do. We're gonna get her lots of sleep tonight so she's extra smart tomorrow. You know, she needs to do this, or we're gonna just all of a sudden she's gonna bite chocolate and think it tastes like crap. We're gonna make her not like that wine. We're gonna make her do the things to make her must, to get her to her must. Okay, that is how powerful the brain is. Nobody was born rich. Nobody was born successful. It's not the people who raised you. It's none of that. You got all the control up here. I won't go deep into illnesses because there's a lot of stuff that we don't have the control of. But I think if you were born to think this way, I think life would be a lot different. It might be harder as we get older. I get that. I'm in my 50s and it's a lot different than when I used to have these conversations. I used to always just say, I'll just eat right and exercise and I'll be great forever. Right. And you remember this, Auntie Sunny. People would say, you don't understand. As you age, Auntie Lil, everybody would say these things to me and I just didn't get it. But now I'm getting what the actual missing link is we weren't as educated in mindset. We didn't know the power of our minds and what we can fight with the power of our minds. And now that doesn't go for everything. And I'm not talking to people who have, bigger illnesses. And if you're struggling with anxiety and depression, you need to be seeking therapy and you need to be taking your medication. That's not what this is about. This is about the baseline, the average person using, again, that word. How often people throw around the word anxiety when they don't actually have anxiety. It's just becoming a popular word. So I'm very careful with that. I don't want my kids to just, if they are struggling with it, yes, we'll talk and we'll move forward. But I don't want anxiety to be used as just a household word if it's not an actual diagnosis and something that, right? We use these words, we just, because the world uses them. And depression, yes, it's real, it's big, it's real. But a lot of people just use that word when they're really just tired, they're overwhelmed, they're frustrated, right? Tired. Depression and anxiety are not actually emotions. We did a whole workshop on this, but those are not emotions, they're byproducts of emotions. So if you do struggle with some anxiety and you do struggle with some depression, you need to figure out what the emotion is that it actually is. Is it overwhelmed? Is it frustrated? Is it sad? What's the emotion? Because all emotions have messages. Again, a whole nother workshop, but just be careful with the words that you choose to use. Now, let's get into something a little bit different. What are the stories that you're telling yourself? And I'd like you to drop this in the comments for me, please, please, please. What are the stories that you tell yourself? What do you always say? What do you always say? Everybody's got something. I'm not a morning person. Oh, work is so crazy. What are things you say probably almost every day on a very, very continuous basis all the time? And if you don't know, and think about if you asked your partner, your kids, your best friend, what do you say all the time? What would they say? Some things will be positive, some things will be funny. Brittany answered this question and she said, have you talked to Carissa today? Because I guess I say that to her like 10 times every day. Have you talked to Carissa? Do you know where Carissa is? But even on a different note, I'm so tired. Oh, I hate my job. Oh my God, Monday again. What are the things that you constantly say? Please drop it into the chat. I really want to know what, let's see what we got going on in the chat. Quick trip here. Yep, me. Nah, I'm an attention whore. Okay, okay, I like it. Today was nutty. I'm overwhelmed. Okay, I'm overstimulated. I'm overwhelmed. Yes, these are things that we always say. I'm tired. Yes, keep them coming. You guys in the live stream too. I'm actually getting no comments in the live stream. If somebody could say something, because that always gets the comments coming in. I am not ignoring you guys. You're just not coming in. What are the things that your friends and your people in your life would say? I always get tired at this time of day. Exactly. That's probably not even a thing. You probably made that a thing. Right? I used to say if I don't get to the gym in the morning, I can. I just don't want to work out in the afternoon. Well, guess what? I can work out in the afternoon. We tell stories, you guys, and I want you to think of this. If you had $1 million and a big piece of property and you were about to build your dream house, just think about this. You're about to build your dream house. Would you just pass all the money to the construction crew and say, build my dream house, bye, I'll be back from Mexico, and give them no blueprint? Oh, don't paint my kitchen blue. That's all I ask. Don't paint it blue and walk away and just hope that you come back to your dream house and the color kitchen that you want. Because that's what you're doing if you don't wake up every single morning with intention. If you don't wake up every single morning and put the pen into a journal or go into a podcast or read some kind of a book on self-growth, if you're not being intentional with your life, you are letting whether you want to believe in the universe, God, whether you want to believe wherever your higher power is, whatever your higher power is, it could just be simply the power of your subconscious mind. Now, I'm super gifted and I believe in all of those things, and that makes me really feel like a powerful person. But as long as you believe in something, I have a saying that I thought was from the Bible, but apparently I got it all wrong. But my hubby actually took it my handwriting to a tattoo artist and has it tattooed on his forearm, and it says, "If you have faith, you need not have fear." I live by that. I live by that. If I have faith, whether it's faith in my brain and the power of what I can do, whether it's faith in the universe, God, whatever that faith is, I just know if I believe wholeheartedly in something, I never second guess. It comes right down to my fitness, my schooling, my education. I believe so wholeheartedly in Peter Twist. You go and try and tell me he's not the smartest sports educator in the world. I mean, there's a few, but for me, I believe so wholeheartedly in Natalie Plummet Thomas. I believe so wholeheartedly in the people that I learn from that I don't second guess. I don't second guess, right? I'll do my research, but I don't second guess. When I believe in something, you know how much time we waste second guessing stuff, right? You got to believe in what you want to believe in. What are the stories you're telling yourself? If you tell yourself you live paycheck to paycheck, you're going to live paycheck to paycheck forever. These are called limiting beliefs. Sometimes they're not on us. Sometimes other people gave them to us. A lot of your limiting beliefs came before the age of 7. So it gets really hard as you get older to figure out what people were saying to you before you were 7. I had a sign hanging outside of me and Holly's bedroom that said money is the root of all evil. And I know that didn't do really good things for my money mindset. Right? That is something that I've had to work around. I have a very negative mindset towards money, but I also have faith that in the end, I'm just going to have the money that I need to get through life. So I do a lot of work. I have a lot of books in here on money mindset, let me tell you, right? You got to figure out what you've been telling yourself. You've got to figure out what you've been telling yourself. Now, here's a story I haven't told before. So welcome to the first time you're going to hear this story. Over the last 5 years, I gained weight. I have never been on a diet my whole entire life. I can honestly tell you that. Not ever in my life have I dieted. I have never also had to convince myself to go to the gym. I love the gym. Actually, I don't know if I love the gym. I wouldn't ask myself if I love the gym. I'm programmed to think I love the gym. My personal assistant thinks I love the gym. So I don't believe in stupid questions, but that, my friend, is a stupid question. Do not ask yourself if you like going to the gym. If you go there every day, just pretend you love going there and you'll keep going there, right? Does this make sense? Drop me some comments, give me some feedback. Are you picking up what I'm putting down here? So I started gaining weight. I don't eat any differently. I don't I don't exercise any differently. I'm as consistent as I've been for 35 years. Yes, I miss a week, but that doesn't make you not consistent. I'll miss 2 weeks. But if you look at the course of 35 years, I'm very, very consistent with my exercise, right? So what's going on? And we could go down the menopause road, but I'm not. I'm not saying menopause is not a real thing, but I'm not, I know plenty of people in menopause that don't gain weight and that they gain it, but then they lose it, right? So that's just not where I'm going. I'm not saying it's not a real thing. So don't get all that's another conversation. It's not my area of expertise. This is my personal area of expertise in my personal story here that I'm telling. I started to gain this weight, couldn't figure out why. The only thing that really changed was my activity level because COVID hit. And instead of when I was a personal trainer, I didn't do the whole workout with 5 to 8 clients a day, but I did 2 squats with each client, right? That adds up. I did 2 push-ups. I had to teach you how to do it. And then I taught a lot of group fitness classes. Now, if I want Carol to do burpees, I go sit down at my computer and I open up a file and I push buttons. I record that burpee once and I use it for 50 different people, right? So it's a really big difference. So my activity level did change. I no longer have 4 kids in sports and driving around and in and out of the car and up and down the stair everywhere all the time. I don't have that anymore. So that's the only actual thing that changed quite drastically. Nothing else did except the story that I told myself. And then I just realized yesterday, the story I told myself to get myself there is the story I've told to undo it. Because I haven't lost all the weight that I gained in the last 5 years, but I've lost 18 of the pounds that I gained in the last 6 months, maybe. I don't really weigh myself, so I don't have exact numbers. I have photos, but I don't have numbers and stats on myself. But I know that I'm wearing clothes now that I didn't wear last year when I got to the heaviest I've been. You guys, I was always the fittest in the room or equally as fit. I grew up. I was always the teacher, the fitness instructor. People came to me to get fit. So I was generally more fit than them. I grew up with a mindset of I just thought the whole world worked out. I worked out. I helped people get fit. It was lovely. It was such a great life. And then and this isn't me passing blame. This is me acknowledging. See, limiting beliefs and stories that you tell yourself, you're not going back there to blame your mom. Why would you say that to me? Or why did you do this to me? It's to retell the story. And I'm going to teach you how to retell your story in the next slide here. So I started working with Carissa, and this isn't blaming Carissa and Maya. I always thought I was in great shape. I've never needed to lose weight, but these women were ripped and they had 6-pack abs. I've never had 6-pack abs. I'm a personal trainer that doesn't quite look like my team. And this weighed on me. And I didn't realize though, because I never talked about it. This is the problem. When you never talk about the things you're going through, one step, you never really go through them. You never really know what's going on because what goes on up here as a hamster in a cage, it never gets figured out. It never gets worked on, right? So I continued working with these girls that were completely shredded, and it weighs on you when you're a trainer. And I'm gaining weight because now I've told myself a story that I'm not as fit as these girls. Ah, wow. Okay, personal assistant says Casey's not as fit as Carissa. Let's make sure she's right about that. Let's see what we can do. Oh, she's getting older. We can slow the fuck her metabolism down. Let's do that. Let's do it. But it's not just slowing down the metabolism, but I do believe that I know there's more science, but your brain can decide how the rate that you burn fat. And my brain had to make me right. And it spiraled. And I'm not going to go into the whole entire story yet. But because it's very new to me and I haven't even ran this by Carissa, but I really realized how much I let that get into my head. Now I'm a personal trainer, 20 pounds overweight. Who's going to hire me? Who's going to take my advice? Even though I know what I'm doing, I've been doing this my whole life, but it got into my head. It got into my head, and I continued for a couple years, making myself right about not being in super great shape in the job that I'm in. And that's if you can imagine that, I don't know, it'd be like if you had my nails and you were a nail tech, maybe that would be bothersome for you. I don't know, but just an example, right? You hear what I'm saying? And then it wasn't until somebody sat me down and I started I'm talking way too fast. I started walking with Christina. I don't know if you guys have met my friend Christina. She's a spiritual coach. And I started to realize that mindset and spirituality don't really have anything in common. They meet well, they mix really well, but they're two completely different layers. When you start looking at your shadows and you start looking at deeper layers of let's just be smile and do gratitude and have morning routines, which I back 100%. But when you take it, I don't know if it's a layer deeper or a layer different, but I started to open up the box. I started to open up my process of thinking. And then I realized, you know what, Casey, you're allowed to gain a little bit of weight. I'm not unhealthy. My waist to hip ratio is fine. I can still sprint faster than the kids. I can catch gnats in a game of tag. I'm still can fit through small spaces and crouch down and climb up things and jump off things and all of these things, right? I had a knee injury in there too, so that didn't help. Oh, that's the other story I told myself. So this isn't for you guys. This is not a statement in any which way, but for me, my whole life, I rated my fitness level on running 5 kilometers. If I can't run 5 kilometers, I'm not in my proper shape. I have to be able to hike Mount Benson, and I have to be able to. I used to hike Mount Benson every year on my birthday just to make sure I could. Not everybody needs to hike Mount Benson to be in reasonable shape. That's not what I'm saying, but that's my standards, right? My standards for me was that, and I had to run 5K. So as soon as I couldn't run any K. As soon as I couldn't walk, I was on crutches and then on a knee brace for a really long time. My brain went, you're not in shape. You can't run 5K. You're not in shape. So do you see all the little things that were happening to me over the years that were making my brain recognize just how out of shape I was and that I was overweight and that I had, like just piles and piles and piles. And then I learned in the last year, well, sort of very deep work in the last few months, really, my self-worth. And I don't have to have that perfect body to have that knowledge. My brain didn't change. My ability to heal a broken leg. I have a client with a completely broken leg and she's walking again. I've healed my clients. I've done some really great work. I've helped women love themselves. We got Crystal sitting here. She'll maybe share some of her stuff in a minute. I realized that I am authentically doing my job. Yes, I relate. I never really related to people that needed to lose weight up until now, right? So do you get what I'm saying? Is the story I told myself, I started to believe that I was this unfit trainer and I became kind of an unfit trainer. But when I realized, no, you're just not quite at your ideal body weight, you still have all the knowledge, you still have your flexibility, you still have, it started to shift. And I did nothing different except one day somebody bought batteries that went in fit in my dad's scale and I stepped on it and I was down 15 pounds. And I was like, oh, wow. So I ran to my bedroom, of course, and I tried on the pants that I was trying to wear last summer that didn't fit right, that I didn't wear, and they fit right. Right. I had no, like, am I making sense? The same story that got me there undid it for me. So I'm very excited about my future. Now it's like I'm superwoman. It's like I have this superpower because I understand that I just need to rewrite my story. And how do you rewrite your story? Well, guess what? I'm going to tell you a little bit about the science behind affirmations because they're not all wishy-washy. And I'm going to really quickly read this. And I want you to, if you can, just close your eyes, just listen, just hear this with an open mind. Okay. Everything you've ever known about affirmations, anything you ever think, this is science. It's not me. I didn't make this up. Affirmations are powerful motivators. They are physiological concepts called self-fulfilling prophecies. Psychologists have noted that there is a link between belief and action. If you believe something is likely to come true, you subconsciously change your actions to bring about your prediction. If you believe something is likely to come true, you subconsciously change your action to bring about your prediction. This has been observed in many studies of human behavior, sometimes yielding a positive effect, sometimes a negative one. Affirmations use the technique of self-fulfilling prophecies in a positive way. Put simply, when you say positive things about yourself, you start to believe them and act accordingly. Same as vice versa. Say your affirmation 2 or 3 times a day whenever it's convenient for you. If you're not in a position to say your affirmations out loud, perhaps because there are people around, then mentally recite them or write them down. I believe it's powerful to think them, but it's way more powerful to think them and write them down. And it's the power bomb to think them, write them down, and talk about them. I now have people that don't think I'm crazy when I just want to talk about affirmations. You guys, I had wrong affirmations. Do you want to know one of my affirmations? I burn fat for fuel. As I kept telling everybody that my activity levels dropped. I used to blame all the weight gain on my activity level. Oh yeah, I just got to get my activity level back up. Oh, I got a Fitbit. That's going to fix everything when I get my 10,000 steps a day. Like I told the most bullshit stories and none of you fuckers called me out on it. Nobody called me out on it. Like I'm really wow. Christina made me call myself out on it, but she's highly trained in the way she coaches to make you say things that you really want to put back in your mouth. I learned that journaling, when you journal for 2 or 3 pages, you tell the same bullshit story you're telling all your friends and yourself. When you do a good 10 to 20 of these pages, you start to figure out what's going on with you, right? So my affirmations, even though I took up cold showering for a year, guys, cold showering the minute I stepped out of bed to discipline myself in affirmations because I knew they were powerful, but I was saying bad affirmations. Affirmations need to be, and you can't just say them. You can't just eat a burger and say, I eat healthy foods. You can eat a burger, but don't say that affirmation while you're eating the burger. Get in alignment. Get on the treadmill. Move your goddamn body and say, I'm in the best shape of my life. Don't say that while you're eating burgers and drinking beer. Like align your words with your actions. Drink the beer, eat the burger, but don't say your affirmations at the time. Your brain's really confused, right? I burn fat for fuel, yet you're running around telling everybody your activity level is crap. You're lucky to get 2,000 steps a day. What are you burning? You got no activity. You're not burning anything, right? Right? I was constantly telling people that the weight was because of my activity level. My brain just made me right. My brain just was making me so right about all these situations and all my affirmations. I feel like I lost my identity and then I got it back. I started to tell myself some really bullshit stories. And I didn't tell them out loud. So I never, if I would have ever just told somebody this, I think I would have realized that that's ridiculous, that I'm a damn good trainer and I deserve to be in the job that I'm in and doing what I'm doing. But when you don't talk out loud, you'll convince yourself and worse, your personal assistant, that this shit's true. And that's my biggest purpose in life. And I did it this morning in the MMA, my Magnetic Mindset Academy. I try to do Zooms and I try and just get people to talk. You don't need to know what you're talking about, just talk. Have safe places to get these things out. I had a client with an affirmation that was in the negative and she didn't even realize it, right? So when it comes to affirmations, I want you to really, oh, look, there's you, Rochelle. I want you to really recognize the words I am are the most powerful two words you can ever say. So whatever you say after you say I am will probably is going to become your reality. So you need to say I am healthy, I am happy. And when you do it with a smile, do it with some feelings. And if you're not healthy and it's hard and you feel like you're lying to yourself, you need to say things like, I'm so excited that I'm on a journey to become the healthiest version of myself. I'm so excited, right? Weight loss, if you have hundreds of pounds to lose, once you lose 20, you move different. Like life changes. You don't have to get to the goal weight. I was so happy just to fit these pants that I wanted to wear. It's the journey, not the destination. And you have to see that and you have to be super grateful for everything. Guys, gratitude, I could do a whole talk on gratitude. When you're grateful, you can't be angry, you can't be sad, you can't be depressed. You can only be grateful. Train yourself to wake up in the morning, start out with being grateful for breathing. I do deep breathing before I get out of bed every single morning, and I'm just so grateful that I'm breathing because without that breath, nothing's going good today. I'm grateful some days just for my feet when they hit the floor, my body doesn't hurt, or that I had a good night's sleep. I just start in the morning being grateful and thankful. Thankful I didn't sleep on a floor, that I get to touch a button and my house gets warm, right? These are so gratitude and affirmations are kind of different. Gratitude is just teaching yourself. When I used to hear sirens, I used to cop cars, I'd be like, shit, what am I doing wrong? Like a panic mode. Now I'm like, awesome. We have people that have dedicated their lives to making the streets safer. When I hear an ambulance, I'm like, it's so cool. They're going to someone's house to save their life, right? These are the things that if you practice, and you got to practice ridiculously hard in the beginning, and then it just becomes who you are, and you don't have to practice anymore, right? So this is Rochelle. She's here right now. And yes, I asked her if I could share this. My client, Rochelle, is a now friend. Rochelle is a very busy single mom who says her affirmations out loud while she is driving. Rachel started doing this back in August as part of a challenge she was doing with Authentically Fit. Since doing this on a regular basis, Rochelle says she finds it easier to recall them during challenging moments. That's huge. She is also starting to see more physical evidence of the affirmations becoming her reality. Bang, right? So powerful, so powerful. The more I say it, the more I see it. Just absorb that for a moment. The more I say it, the more I see it. All right. So I'm not going into any kind of a sales pitch. Don't worry, you're all free to go in 30 seconds here. I just want to wrap up by saying that my whole life I thought it was nutrition and it was exercise. I never understood the power of your mindset. At Authentically Fit, we are blasting Black Friday sales. You've probably seen it all over our social media. So my shout out to you guys right now is if you've ever thought about becoming part of our team, getting involved in what we do, now is the time because we are blasting out memberships at like 40% off. We only do this once a year. We have not only the Elite Squad, which is your nutrition, your exercise, and your mindset, but I also have the MMA. I think that sounds really cool is why I named it. It's the Magnetic Mindset Academy. We meet at 7 o'clock every morning. You don't have to be there at 7 o'clock. You can watch the replay, but whatever time you get up, your 7 o'clock could be 10 o'clock. It's the intention that you're going to get your mindset onto the right channel. Guys, what is mindset? Mindset is really simple. It's setting your mind on a channel that works for you. And if you don't like the channel it's on, if you don't like the way you think, if you don't like waking up, guys, it's great to go to bed tired. That's great. But waking up tired is not so great. That's not normal. That's not what we're supposed to do. So if you want to learn the mindset skills that will help you to wake up ready for the day, excited about your day, I can teach you. I can give you the tools on how to do that. And that's a lot of the work that we do. So feel free from here. I'm going to leave the ball in your court. If any of this is speaking to you and you want to know anything more about the fitness, some people we have just nutrition coach, people we just do nutrition coaching with, just exercise, just mindset, or we have awesome programs to put all three of those together. So I'll leave it to you guys to feel free to please reach out to myself or any of the Authentically Fit coaches. It doesn't matter what coach you work with. As I said earlier, you're all part of the elite squad and we all specialize in what we specialize in and we all kind of share you anyways. So that is it. That is all. I'm just going to go to this page so that it stays in the video. I'm not going to read it to you. Don't worry, but this is just kind of a little bit about what the MMA is. If you've all registered for this, you're going to get a copy of this whole workshop. I am such a fan of repetition. I have listened to the Mastering Emotions now, I think about 18 times, and it's about a 45-minute podcast. I listen to the same thing over and over again when I want to resonate. And if something doesn't resonate with you that you wish was resonating with you, then I ask you to change your vibration, change your energetic state. So sometimes I listen to something laying in bed in the morning, but then I'll take it to the gym and I'll wait till I'm all sweaty and out of breath, listen to it again, and I hear things that I did not hear the first time. Right? So change your energetic state, change your vibration. If you want, if you're like, I feel that, but it's not clicking. It's not clicking. My brain's not going, I got to do this. My brain, I'm still not doing a morning routine, even though Casey's made it very clear that every successful human she knows has a solid, when I say morning routine, I don't mean walk the dog, go pee, have your coffee. I'm talking about journaling, being mindful, getting your mindset on the right channel. Finishing up, guys, if you are listening to JRFM radio, country music, driving down the road, and you're getting pissed off because they're not playing AC/DC, what would you do? Change the channel. That's mindset. If you don't like the thoughts going through your head, change the channel. Deep breathing, yelling into a pillow. There are so many ways. Calling a friend, going diving into gratitude. I do transitioning every day, almost when I get the car to the house, everywhere I go. If I'm like, okay, I've got to be mom now, I've got to let go of what just happened, or okay, I've got to do this program that I sit down and I just close my eyes. And for 1 to 2 minutes, I just breathe really, really deep. Because we know when we breathe really, really deep, our brain releases feel-good chemicals. If something pisses me off, an emotion only needs to last 90 seconds. So if somebody makes me angry or something makes me sad or grief, I've dealt with a lot of grief lately. I feel it for as long as I want. Sometimes I want to feel it for 10 minutes. Sometimes I want to cry all freaking day. But if I don't, if I'm like, not today, it's Zaya's birthday. I cannot be grieving and going to this birthday party. Something has to change here. So it's as simple as those breaths and transitioning into who I need to be. All right, you guys, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so, so much for being here. I really appreciate it. All of you guys in Zoom, thank you. All of you guys live, thank you. Appreciate you so much. This is my door is open. This is an open invitation to hop into my inbox and ask me some questions. Have the best night ever. Bye-bye.